Here's something most people over 50 will never hear from their doctor. The real reason you feel unstable when you stand up. The real reason your lower back aches after a short walk. The real reason climbing a single flight of stairs leaves you gripping the railing. It has almost nothing to do with your age, and everything to do with two muscles you probably haven't thought about since high school gym class. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, everything you thought you knew about aging and strength is about to change. Think about the last time you got up from a low chair. Maybe it was a couch. Maybe it was a car seat. Did you push off with your hands? Did your knees shake just a little? Did it take more effort than it used to? Most people brush that off. They tell themselves it's just aging. They tell themselves it's normal. But here's what nobody tells you. That moment, that small, quiet struggle, is one of the earliest warning signs that your glutes are shutting down. And when your glutes shut down, everything else in your body starts to follow. This is not a small problem. This is actually one of the most underestimated health crises happening silently inside millions of people over 50 right now. And the frightening part? Most of them have no idea. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body. Your glutes, the muscles that make up your entire backside, are the largest and most powerful muscle group in the human body. They're not just there to fill out your pants. They are the engine of everything you do. Standing, walking, climbing, balancing, even sitting down safely. Research in movement science consistently shows that glute weakness is directly linked to lower back pain, knee instability, poor posture, and, this one should get your attention, a dramatically increased risk of falling. And falls, for anyone over 60, are not just embarrassing. They are genuinely dangerous. Hip fractures, hospital stays, long recoveries, sometimes permanent loss of independence. But here's what's interesting. The solution is not complicated. The solution does not require a gym membership. It does not require expensive equipment. It does not require hours of your day. It requires two specific exercises done consistently. That's it. But before I show you those two exercises, you need to understand something critical. Something that most fitness channels skip right over. And if you skip this part, the exercises won't work nearly as well. There's a concept in movement science called gluteal amnesia. It sounds almost funny when you first hear it. Gluteal amnesia, like your backside forgot what it was supposed to do. But this is a real, well-documented phenomenon, and it affects the majority of people who live modern, sedentary lifestyles, which, if we're being honest, describes most of us over 50. Here's what happens. When you sit for extended periods on a couch, at a desk, in a car, your hip flexors, the muscles at the front of your hips, become tight and shortened. And as that happens, your nervous system begins to reduce the activation signals it sends to your glutes. Over time, your brain essentially stops fully recruiting your glute muscles during movement. The connection weakens. The muscles atrophy. They forget how to fire. And this is the hidden reason why so many people feel weak in their lower body, even if they walk every day. Walking helps, but walking alone is not enough to wake up sleeping glutes. You need something more targeted, something that forces that neurological reconnection. This is where things get really interesting. Imagine for a moment that you could feel the difference in just 2 weeks. Not 2 years, not 2 months, 2 weeks. Imagine standing up from that low chair and feeling, for the first time in years, a sense of power in your hips, a stability in your legs, a confidence in your step that you thought was just gone forever. That's not a fantasy. That's the reality for people who commit to reactivating their glutes with the right exercises. I want to tell you about a woman named Margaret. She was 68 years old. She had been dealing with chronic lower back pain for almost a decade. She tried stretching. She tried walking more. She tried yoga, and nothing seemed to make a lasting difference. Her physical therapist finally identified the real problem. Her glutes were almost completely inactive. Her body had learned to compensate, using her lower back, her hamstrings, even her calves, to make up for the work her glutes weren't doing. And that compensation pattern was destroying her back. Within 3 weeks of doing targeted glute activation work, her back pain dropped significantly. Within 6 weeks, she was walking farther than she had in years. She told her therapist, "It felt like someone had turned the lights back on in her legs." That's not magic. That's muscle reactivation. And it's available to everyone. Now, let's get into the first exercise. And I want you to understand not just how to do it, but why it works at a neurological level. Because when you understand the why, you'll feel the exercise completely differently. The first exercise is the glute bridge. Now, before you click away thinking you've heard of this one, wait. Because there's a specific way to perform this exercise that most people get completely wrong. And that mistake is the difference between activating your glutes deeply and just straining your hamstrings. Here's the setup. You lie on your back. Your knees are bent, feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Your arms are relaxed at your sides. So far, simple enough. But here's where most people go wrong before they even begin. They don't activate the glutes before they move. They just push up and hope for the best. And what happens is the hamstrings and lower back take over before the glutes ever engage. The key, and this changes everything, is what you do in the moment before you lift. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, gently squeeze your glutes first. Not your abs, not your legs, your glutes. That deliberate pre-activation signal wakes up the neurological connection. It tells your nervous system, I want these muscles specifically to do this work. Then, keeping that squeeze active, you drive through your heels and lift your hips toward the ceiling. Not as high as you possibly can, just high enough that your body forms a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Hold that position for 2 full seconds at the top. Feel the squeeze. Make it deliberate. Make it intentional. Then lower slowly. Not dropping. Controlled. 3 seconds down. That slow descent is not just for safety. It's actually where much of the strength building happens. The eccentric phase, the lowering, creates muscle adaptation at a deep level. Don't rush it. Now, the most common mistake over 50 bodies make with this exercise is letting the knees fall outward at the top. If your knees drift apart, it means your hip abductors are compensating and your glutes are losing tension. Keep your knees directly above your feet throughout the entire movement. Start with 10 repetitions. Rest for 30 seconds. Do 2 to 3 sets. And here's the remarkable thing about this exercise. You will feel your glutes the next day. Not in a painful way. In a way that reminds you those muscles are alive and working again. But the glute bridge alone, as powerful as it is, addresses primarily one plane of movement. To truly bulletproof your lower body, you need the second exercise. And this one might surprise you. Before we get to that second exercise, I want to share something that changes how most people think about their legs. Research from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that lower limb muscle weakness in adults over 60 is one of the strongest predictors of functional decline over the following decade. Not cardiovascular health, not even cognitive function. Leg and glute strength was among the top predictors of whether someone maintained their independence as they aged. Let that land for a second. Your ability to get off the floor if you fall. Your ability to walk to your car without fear. Your ability to carry groceries, climb stairs, stand in the kitchen long enough to cook a meal. All of it traces back to what's happening in your glutes and legs right now. This isn't about vanity. This isn't about fitness culture. This is about the quality of your life for the next 20, 30 years. And the second exercise addresses something the glute bridge simply cannot reach. It targets the glutes from a completely different angle. And it also trains something equally important, single leg stability, which is what your body actually uses every single time you take a step. The second exercise is the standing glute kickback. This one is performed standing, which makes it accessible even on days when getting down to the floor feels like too much. You could do it at a kitchen counter, the back of a sturdy chair, or even holding a wall. Here's why this exercise is particularly powerful for people over 50. Walking is not a two-legged activity. Every single step you take requires your body to balance on one leg for a fraction of a second. And if your glutes are weak, that moment of single-leg balance is unstable. That instability accumulates over thousands of steps per day. It creates micro-stresses in your knees and hips. It erodes your confidence in your own balance. The standing glute kickback trains your glutes to fire powerfully during exactly that kind of single-leg demand. Here's how to perform it correctly. Stand behind your chair or counter. Hold lightly, not gripping for dear life, just a gentle touch for balance orientation. Stand tall, shoulders back. And this matters. Do not lean forward as you perform a movement. Your spine stays long and upright the entire time. Now, keeping your legs straight but not locked, slowly sweep one leg backward. Not out to the side, not a wild kick. Directly backward, about 12 to 18 inches off the ground at the peak. And here's the piece most people miss. At the top of that movement, pause for one full second and consciously squeeze the glute of the working leg. That pause, that intentional contraction, is where the real activation happens. Without the pause, you're using momentum. With the pause, you're building strength. Lower the leg slowly. 3 seconds. Back to neutral. Then repeat. 10 repetitions each side. 2 to 3 sets. Now, some people will feel this in their hamstrings more than their glutes at first. This is normal. It's actually another sign of gluteal amnesia. The brain is defaulting to familiar muscle patterns. If this happens to you, reduce the range of motion slightly. Only move the leg as far back as you can feel the glute doing the work. Smaller and intentional beats big and sloppy every single time. There's something else happening with this exercise that I haven't mentioned yet, and it's arguably the most important benefit for anyone over 60. When you stand on one leg, even with light support from a counter, your entire stabilization system activates. Your ankle, your knee, your hip, your core, your glutes. Everything from the ground up is working together to keep you upright. That's called proprioceptive training. In proprioception, your body's internal sense of where it is in space degrades with age if it isn't consistently challenged. Studies on fall prevention consistently show that proprioceptive training is one of the most effective ways to reduce fall risk in older adults. And the standing glute kickback, done correctly, delivers proprioceptive stimulus with every single repetition. This is why this exercise is in a completely different category than just lying on the floor and lifting weights. This is training your body for the real world, for the ground beneath your feet, for every uneven sidewalk and unexpected curb. Let me give you the full picture now, because the exercises matter, but the sequence matters just as much. Before you do either exercise, spend 60 seconds doing what's called a hip flexor release. Stand tall. Take one step forward into a gentle lunge position. Don't drop deep, just enough to feel a mild stretch across the front of your back hip. Hold for 10 seconds each side. This simple step helps release the tightness that was suppressing your glute activation in the first place. Then go straight into your glute bridges. 10 reps, 2 to 3 sets, slow and deliberate. Then move to standing glute kickbacks. 10 reps each side, 2 to 3 sets.